Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today with another Race Shot Legends Champion Guide. Today we have SUZERAIN Katonn, an old school legacy champion in this game. And let me tell you, this champion surprised me in preparing for today's guide. Certainly not an S tier champ, but one who recently got a buff. They actually haven't buffed anybody in this game, or balanced anybody for that matter, in over 5 months at the time of this recording. But, you know, speaking relatively, he got a buff about a year ago. So I feel like some people might have him in the vault and, you know, might want to check him out in today's video. So to that end, we have a lot of shout outs here, a lot of requests. I'm not going to read them all, but AI Zen looking for a I always say Suzerain, it's SUZERAIN Katonn. B Devil, love the channel. Thank you, man. So many outdated guides. Well, you know what the shame is these guides are going to be outdated in 3 years anyway. That's the shame. Anyway, it's B Devil looking for a SUZERAIN Katonn guide. We have Braden looking for one. We have Digital Fungus looking for a Suzerain. We have Tate Allen. Shout out to Tate again. Shout out to Lorga. We have Jay Lambo. He mentioned the buff as well. We have Ben TG. Sorry about that. No idea how to build them. We're going to give you a couple interesting builds here. You know, shout out to all of you guys. I'm going to go rapid fire now because a lot of requests. I'm pissed at you. Last video you said, I did say that, and that was on my main channel. I didn't say he sucked, though. I just said he was disappointing back when Hydra. So a little bit of a backstory here wow, a lot of requests here. Shout out to Balakid. Virtual Bunsky. I'm gonna get myself in trouble with these names here. Listen, the last time I had used him, other than preparing for today's guide, Suzerain, is when Hydra was released. And I was just hoping for a lot of damage, and he didn't really deliver in a big way in that regard. But I've got different use cases, and that was before his buff as well. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's jump into the video, guys. All right, so what does this dude do? He is an undead horde champion. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Not to be confused with Scartorsus. I don't know why, but Scartorsus, maybe it's the S's. And SUZERAIN Katonn, I always get their names confused. They also have AoEs on the A1. Anyway, base stats, 15k HP, really sucky for a legendary. He makes up for it a little bit with a 1000 defense. And then he has 1564 on the base attack as well. He has an AoE decreased speed on the A1, 50% land rate. That's not bad at all. On the A2, another AoE, Hex of Years. It's a 4-turn cooldown with a 100% chance to place a weaken, and then it goes all the way down to 45% chance. Now that can be booked up to a 65 or 70% chance with a sniper mastery of placing the decreased speed as well. So the big version of both those debuffs on an AoE, albeit not 100% clip on the decreased defense in a 4-turn cooldown. On the Banish from Time, another 4-turn AoE attack, it removes all shield, block damage, and unkillable buffs from all enemies, and then attacks them. Places a heal reduction debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. The buff removal cannot be resisted, which is really nice. Now, his buff, well, let me just finish off the kit. Ally attack in all battles by 33%. That's a great attack aura that can, well, obviously be used everywhere. So we keep alluding to this buff. What was it? What did he used to have? So Champion Rebalance, his skill 2, Hex of Years, was changed, okay? The old version was a 50% chance of placing a weaken. If the weaken is not placed, then you could place the decreased defense. So this is a lot better. We have, you know, a chance of getting both of the debuffs. I hate that if the debuff's not placed, then this debuff will be placed. I hate that because we're building with accuracy anyway, and we want it to be placed, and they're both predicated on, I hate those abilities. I'm glad they're kind of slowly but surely going through and changing those. So the new version, we already know what it is. But they also buffed the damage multiplier to the A2, as well as the A3, okay? Pretty cool. Damage multiplier increased on Banish of Time, on the skill, and on the ascension of that skill. So, man, a pretty good buff for him. Did it make him a lot more viable? Well, let's go ahead and find out today. Let me show you how I built this dude. Now, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I think when you look at this champion, when you think about this champion, I think the first thought is probably going to be Hydra clan boss, just like my thought was. And he can absolutely be a great Hydra clan boss option. But I kind of like him in a blender too. The multipliers, let's take a look at those really quickly here. Hellhades.com gives him a 3 overall grade. Not too good. Key areas, Dragon, Ice Golem, Doom Tower, I would say. I would give him higher than that in Doom Tower Waves. I mean, the downside, squishy. More challenging high waves and Doom Tower hard. He might be too squishy, but you could put him in a stun set. And he could be a good control champion if you want to go all-out stun, okay? So he does have that potential, obviously with the AoE and the A1. Arena, they give him a 4-star, and I kind of agree. And that's where I want to showcase him in today's video. But I will give you a build to help you out in PvE content as well, although I will not demonstrate. I don't think I even have any Hydra keys right now. So yeah, in Hydra, it's self-explanatory. He's got 3 AoE attacks. He's got decent damage now with the buffed multipliers. He's got 2 essential debuffs. However, I would not rely on him to be your only debuffer. If you have like a Lydia, he alongside a Lydia could basically keep decreased defense and weaken up pretty much all the time, or pretty close to, depending on speeds. So that's kind of a nice little combo there. I wouldn't rely on him again as your only decreased defense option on your team. This ability though, Banish from Time, removing shield block damage and unkillable, it's a great response to several meta popular champions inside the arena, okay? So that's really great. I mean, namely Helikath with the block damage and the shield, right? But unkillable applies to quite a few champions, like a Leo, like a Grazer Iron Gut, like a Skull Crown, for example, right? So really cool. And then the AoE and the A1, especially again for Hydra, is solid. For Masteries, let's do them together here, guys. As I said, do we need the crit rate or not? Let's take a look here. Total stats, we have 102 and 207, so we don't need the crit rate. I'm going to show you all the gear in just a moment here, but let's pick out the I would probably keep this fairly similar, meaning for PvE and PvP content. I'm going to do so he's removing shields, but in the way that we're going to be using him, he's going to be attacking into shields a lot too. So with his A1, I'm going to go Ruthless Ambush. We're going to go with, Cycle of Violence. Going to come down with Heart of Glory. Going to come down Single Out. We're going to come down Bring It Down. Methodical. We're going to go Kill Streak. And then we're going to go with Helm Smasher, okay? So let me push on over here. Let's see. I think support's the way to go, but you could definitely go defense, especially in the way that we're going to utilize him today, and get that retribution for that counterattack, as well as deterrence it while you're at it, right? So that's definitely an option, but I'm just going to go with the, I think the most obvious, and that is the accuracy. Going to go down to Evil Eye, and we're going to pick up, we're actually going to, this is a tough one. You know what? If I could go back, I'd probably drop, I guess I'd drop Kill Streak, and I'd pick up both of them. But I'm not going to redo him. Actually, is it free? No. I'm not going to redo him just for that. He can benefit from Sniper as well at, you know what? I'm going to freaking do it just to prove a point. Because these are both really essential for him. Because it's a 4-turn cooldown on his A2, those debuffs, decrease defense and weaken, we really want Master Hexer. Because his decreased defense and his decreased speed are not 100%, we really want Sniper on him as well. So I kind of screwed up there. Normally you'd go crit rate, but you don't need it in this build because he already has crit capped. We'll go Cycle of Violence. We'll go with Heart of Glory. Go Single Out. Bring It Down. Killer, Methodical, and then Helm Smasher. Okay. We have our completed Masteries. Almost. No, we're good. So these are the Masteries that I would go with, okay? Arena, PvP, I think either way, these are going to be pretty solid. Of course, you could go War Master as well as an option, especially if you're not using him in the arena at all. Is he an S-tier arena champion? No, he's not. But is he a A-tier arena Great Hall farmer? I would argue yes. I would argue yes. I'm going to use him in a blender comp. So you might have noticed he's actually really slow. We're going to talk about those changes in just a moment. But first, we have attack on the banner. We have crit damage on the amulet, and we have attack on the ring. We have attack percentage on the boots. We have attack percentage on the chest, and we have crit damage on the gauntlets. We have him in a triple cruel set, okay? Other sets on this champion: Savage, lethal, especially for arena and for wave clearing, right, which he's great at. And then stun sets. For control, put this dude in a stun, you're not going to regret it. Him in a stun is going to be fantastic. If I did put him in a stun set, especially if I was relying on him to be my main form of crowd control, I would definitely Yeah, I think I would forego maybe offense, rely on him a little bit less for damage. I would keep support the way it is, and I would come down defense tree, and I would go with Retribution, and then I would go with Fearsome Presence, and I would also go Harvest Despair, so he's placing leeches in addition to the stuns, okay? So that would be the control build. In terms of artifacts and accessories on this champion, what would I change if I wasn't going to highlight him in a blender comp like we're going to do today? Very cool blender comp champion, which you'll see in a minute. I would put accuracy on the banner instead of attack, okay? We're min-maxing his attack because all we really care about is damage here. The nice thing is in the arena, though, is he's going to open up with his A1 because it's going to be an ally attack. And then his first move is going to be Banished from Time, which does not require accuracy. The heal reduction does, but we don't really care about that much. It's nice to have, don't get me wrong, in the arena. But we're going to remove shield block damage and unkillable. Automatically can't be resisted, right? Perfect. We do need accuracy for the A2 as well, right? But in the arena, that's going to be his last move. If we get to the point where we're cycling all the way back to his A2, you know, hopefully the battle is already decided at that point, right? If everything works properly. So this is, again, a great method to farm your Great Hall, you know? Not to push to Platinum, but to farm your Great Hall. The other change I would make for PvE is, on top of considering a stun set or Savage or Lethal, is going with speed, obviously, on the boots. Attack percentage on the boots on this champion is very specific to this blender comp. So again, only two changes to make here. Speed on the boots and accuracy on the banner. And then he's ready for PvE content. You can even keep the triple cruel on him. The last thing I will mention to consider, especially if you're early game, building this champion to help you out in dungeons and progression and areas like that, right? Heck, he could even be a campaign farmer if you want him to be, right? Not in the case of campaign, but everywhere else I just mentioned, consider going with HP on the ring instead of attack, okay? Same thing with the chest. It's not the end of the world to go HP percentage or even defense percentage because it scales a lot better than his HP on the chest, because obviously he's not going to be any use to you if you can't keep him alive. All right, let's go ahead and have some fun in the arena, guys. Let's do it. You see that they're selling the potions now? They're selling the potions. That just feels wrong. I don't even know why, right? Anyway, let's just jump in here. I have Skullcrown in the lead. I have Senesha next. Skullcrown, I want to say Skullcrown and Senesha are built the same, okay? Pretty slow, but nuker central. Base attack 4,500, maybe she does have. I swapped out my gear, so don't judge too hard. I want Skullcrown to have 100% crit rate like Senesha does here. I'm not even sure if I have attack percentage on these boots. I don't think I do, based on those speeds. And then I have Fat Man just built for speed, okay? And that's it. That's the whole build. All right, what did I have as a final stats on Suzerain? Almost 7,000 on the attack. So, you know, not a ton of crit damage on him, but he does make up for it with that high attack. Let's slow it down here, guys. Oh, man. Okay, this is why Blender Comp is the best strategy for farming your Great Hall, as I was mentioning earlier, right? It's fast. I don't have it on auto, and I have it at 1x speed, okay? So we're going to come in here, and let's see the damage. 1, 2, 3. Jeez. So you can see he hit quite a bit harder, I want to say, than the other two, than the sisters. Granted, his attack is sky high as well. Let's come back around and just keep killing stuff here. Obviously, I'm gonna try to avoid UDK teams because it takes forever. It's really not what you want to be targeting is stone skin teams with a blender comp, you know? And geez, it's going so fast that I can't even see the damage on these champions. Let's try this squad here. We're going against a Necrit the Great, so we won't be able to one-shot him, at least that. Okay, here we go. Slow it down. There he goes. So you can see 20k-ish. Now, hopefully no one dies here. Ooh, he stays alive. That's good. All right, let's go for a heal. Senesha has a beautiful heal. And then let's go A2, Skullcrown. And then let's remove Irresistible Remove of Shield right there, right? I mean, that is a beautiful little ability there. Now they might smoke us. But you guys are, you're picking up what I'm putting down here? All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's not looking so good. That Necrit, man. And Duchess, right? Anyway. So at least we tried a tough team. But you really want to be careful of the tankies, right? As I mentioned earlier, when you have a blender. Now this team is actually going to be a lot better because even though they still have good champions, it's not going to be a OP, stone skin, blah, blah, blah. So let's see if we can go in there and we get rid of one of their revivers. Let's see. Boom and boom. There we go. There we go. That was a big boy nuke right there, right? I really like this dude in a blender comp. You could run, if you don't have both the sisters, Sinesha and Skullcrown, but you do have this dude, you could run, I think Varric and the Fat is great. I think Longbeard is amazing in terms of great blender ally attackers. Lonorithal is great. Krilla Witch Arm is great. I mean, there's a lot of them, right? Lanicus the Chosen. There's a bunch of options. That was Marichka passive proc right there. But that was the Hex of Years. Was that the A3? That was the A3. You can tell the multipliers are a lot better than they used to be on this. Now you can run this guy. I want to talk about a third build before I let you guys go. And that would be a Hydra option. I should have mentioned this off the bat. My bad. But that would be Relentless, right? It's pretty obvious, but it deserves to be said, right? Relentless is going to be great on this champion. Now we're going against a Leo here. So not that like Swift Parry is not really in vogue right now at all in the game. I think that set probably needs a buff personally. But I'm just going to A1 here with Sinesha. We don't need to heal. I think I might have Skullcrown in a stun set. I'm not sure what build I have on her right now. But here comes the man of the hour. Let's go on this A3. Boom. Not bad. What did I share the multipliers? I don't think I did. 2.2 on the A1, a 3.7 on the A2, and a 3.8 godlike rating on the A3 there. All right. Oops. I didn't mean to auto there. I wanted to AoE attack, not go in with a little... See? We could have killed both the revivers had we AoE'd that. That was a bummer. All right. Let's see if we can still come back. Now we got the A2. Boom. Ooh, nice damage. Nice damage. So, yeah, Relentless in Hydra Clan Boss, obviously getting those extra turns will help us get back to that A2 sooner, thus to apply those debuffs, right? And obviously more AoEs equals more damage. So, guys, there we go. Overall, I would say Suzerain Katonn is obviously a good blender comp champion, good control, A-tier blender. Otherwise, in the arena, I don't know, outside of a blender, I would say progression, like B+ or whatever. And then in Hydra, I would say like an B+ as well. And then as a control champion in stun set, B+ as well. So, or maybe A, I guess, in the stun set. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide. Keep the champion requests coming. And shout out to the guy who said I got him wrong when I said that I hated this champion. That was absolutely true. Definitely not a trash champion. Has some utility inside the game. And that's all we can ask for at this point with non-void legendaries especially. Thank you for watching. And as always, take care, guys.